If you've been waiting for me to open up these starter diamond choice packs, then the wait is over. But if you've already made the decision and you based it off of either your personal preference or team needs, then that is 100% fine as well. Don't be discouraged because your player is not one of the ones we talk about today, but make sure you stay tuned throughout the entire video to know which categories you want to look at when it comes to selecting a player in the future, as well as the rankings, as some of them might surprise you. We're starting things off with the kid. Inside the Hyper Series choice pack, Ken Griffey Jr. is going to be your best option. Ken Griffey Jr. plays center field, which is definitely a position of need inside of Diamond Dynasty, with secondary positions of corner outfield. He has 88 fielding and 85 reaction. Why is that important? Because if you slot him either into left or right field, he still is getting gold fielding animations and gold reaction animations. He also has 78 speed. Generally, for an outfielder, you want a little bit more speed, but that is decent enough speed to get by. And then when we look at his numbers from the hitting side, he has great power and great contact versus right. Versus lefties, he has more power than he does contact, but because of how good Ken Griffey Jr.'s swing is inside of the game, it's going to allow him to play above his attributes. But the most important thing we want to look at when looking at Ken Griffey Jr. is going to be his clutch. He has 91 clutch, meaning if you have runners in scoring position at any time with 91 clutch, his contact versus right is no longer an 82, versus left is no longer a 62, it's now a 91. So that helps him out drastically as well. And let's not forget the quirks. Even though quirks are not end all be all, they are still very important, and Ken Griffey Jr. has amazing quirks to help you out as well. He is a first pitch hitter, meaning his PCI is enlarged on the first pitch of the at-bat. He excels at hitting fastballs, breaking ball hitter, and he is also a situational hitter as well as bad ball hitter. Number 2 might surprise a lot of people, but I do believe that Chase Utley is going to be one of the best second basemen inside of Diamond Dynasty. His attributes are balanced all around. The only thing that's unfortunate when it comes to hitting is that his clutch drops off from his normal contact, so you want him earlier inside the lineup than usual. He has great fielding and great reaction at second base. Downside is he can only play second base. 74 speed is also decent to have at second base. He's another lefty in a game where we don't have a ton of left-handed pitchers. It's mainly dominated by right-handed pitchers, so you definitely want to have those lefty hitters that are going to give you an advantage. And then looking at his quirks, just like Ken Griffey Jr., he has first pitch hitter, dead red, breaking ball hitter, and then situational as well. Before we continue, let me remind you to hit that like button or subscribe button, notification bell. Check out the description for the Twitch, second MLB The Show YouTube channel, as well as social medias. And if you're not following already, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and follow. At number 3, I felt like we needed to have a pitcher on the list, but I didn't want to force it, and I don't think I'm necessarily forcing it here. Johan Santana is a pitcher that has a four-seam, a sinker, and a cutter. Those 3 are the meta fastballs, and I believe that they will continue to be the meta fastballs inside of MLB The Show for years to come. So he has all 3 of them, and then you add a slider and a circle change to his arsenal, and it's like, what else are you looking for? Plus, if you look at his pitching clutch, 103 pitching clutch means that whenever there are runners in scoring position, he becomes an even better pitcher. So you take all of that, 86 walk per 9 with 83 control. Even at higher difficulties, he should be able to control the ball very well. To not waste too much time, we're just going to glance over the next 4, and they're in no particular order. Andrew Miller does not have a great arsenal for a lefty despite having great attributes, and then in addition to that, he doesn't necessarily have an outlier, but if you're in need of lefty bullpen arms, then I can't see why you wouldn't pick him up. Adrian Beltre plays third base. Third base is not necessarily a position of need inside of Diamond Dynasty, as there are a ton of budget cards that are silvers or golds that will give you the same production value that he has at third base in terms of hitting attributes. But if you look at his secondary position, if you were to be using him at short, then there is where I see him going up in terms of priority, since he's still able to play shortstop at a high level with gold fielding animations and gold reaction reaction animation. Richie Sexson is similar to Adrian Beltre. He plays first base, and first base is just not a base you can justify taking your first pick as a diamond, just because there are plenty of silvers and golds that can do the same thing as him. Matt Cain is very similar to Johan Santana. The only exception is his arsenal is lacking that cutter. Instead, he has a curveball, and he's a right-handed pitcher, of course, and I felt like early on in Diamond Dynasty, left-handed pitchers are a little bit more important than right-handed pitchers. Inside of the barrier breakers, my number one pick would be Henry Aaron, and you might be saying to yourself, why, Blade? Out of Josh Gibson and all of them? Well, Henry Aaron has good attributes all around in terms of hitting. He plays shortstop at a silver fielding animation level and silver reaction animation level. With 83 speed, it's going to give him decent range. But the thing that some people might overlook is the fact that for some reason, as opposed to most of the other players inside this pack, he actually has quirks such as first pitch, dead red, breaking ball, unfazed, situational, rally monkey. Like, this guy has quirks that are going to allow him to play well above his attributes, and secondary position at second base, you can play him at either or. The only thing to dislike about the barrier breaker cards is the fact that he's a free agent, so you wouldn't put him on your squad if you are looking to advance in terms of team affinity progress. Instead, you would only put him on your squad when you're looking to advance in terms of just ranked rating. Number 2 is going to be Jackie Robinson, and it's very similar to the situation with Henry Aaron. All around, his numbers are amazing. 100 clutch, that's going to be great, but it doesn't really matter when it comes to Jackie because he already has great contact numbers without needing runners in scoring position. At shortstop, he plays it with fielding animations and goal reactions, and 91 speed is better than Henry Aaron's as well, so he should have a little bit more range. The biggest difference between the two, I would say, is going to be the quirks, as he only has dead red, breaking ball, and rally monkey that are really quirks that stand out to me. I think you can't go wrong going either or, but I do like Henry Aaron's versatility when it comes to being able to play second base as well, and not necessarily having to be at shortstop in order to maximize his fielding ability. Number 3 is Satchel Pig. Why is Satchel Pig number 3? 4-seam, sinker, screwball, slider, curveball. Great arsenal. Pitching clutch 95 we take. 89 hit per 9 we take. 74 walk per 9, 81 control. That's decent as well, even at higher difficulties. What is the most important thing we see about Satchel Pig? The fact that he has outlier. So outlier allows that fastball to come in a lot faster than it's supposed to, and that's just going to be great even on earlier pitch speeds to just sneak it in and strike out more hitters. I think that he is probably, out of the packs we have seen thus far, the best pitcher to go ahead and pick up. Glancing over the rest, we're going to start off with Buck Leonard. Buck Leonard plays first base. First base is not really a position of need. There are a ton of silvers and golds that can give you similar production. Josh Gibson, on the other hand, is a very interesting player because he has great power numbers. The clutch at an 83 helps him out as well. And the 80 fielding and 75 reaction means that you can put him at any of those secondary positions and he can give you silver fielding animations and silver reaction animations. But the fact that these guys are lacking any quirks whatsoever makes me reluctant to put him inside the top 3. But if you went with him because of nostalgia and wanting to hear his custom bat sound, I don't blame you. Martin Dihigo. He plays every position, including pitching. He doesn't have great hit per 9. He doesn't have great pitching clutch, but he does have a great arsenal. And then he is a pitcher that is able to also hit, so you can place him as your starting pitcher and designated hitter as well, so he can be a two-way player. Toni Stone is a solid second baseman option, and she would be placed high in your lineup just because her contact numbers drop whenever there are runners in scoring position, comparing the 100 plus contact numbers to her 78 clutch. The reason why she isn't high in terms of top 3 is because of the fact that Henry Aaron can play second base as well. In the Cornerstone pack, Byron Buxton is going to be the best option. 1, His captain boost is like no other. Since early on in the game cycle, especially if you're offline grinding, most people specialize getting high power hitters. High power hitters usually have low vision, so that would allow Byron Buxton's boost to go ahead and be more effective. Not only that, but he is a primary center fielder, which is a position of need. He has 94 fielding, meaning diamond fielding animations, but 67 reaction, meaning bronze reaction animations, but the 95 speed can make up for the lack of reaction. Now, where he really falls off is when we look at his contact numbers, and then his contact with runners in scoring position, as his clutch is a 55. But hey, if you can land the PCI on the ball, then the ball is going to travel, because he has nearly 100 power against both sides. Unfortunately, he has no quirks, but we are willing to bypass that. And even if you did go ahead and pick up Ken Griffey Jr. with the first pack, I would not blame you, or I would even encourage you to also pick up Byron Buxton, and then you'd most likely leave Byron Buxton at center field just because he's the faster of the two, and then slot Ken Griffey Jr. in left field, or vice versa. It doesn't even matter. Bhlademyst is going to be my number 2. You kind of expected that though, right? Needed to have a hitter and a pitcher as my top 2. Now, he fits the Johan Santana mode in terms of having a sinker, cutter, and a fastball. The only thing to dislike about Greg Maddux, besides his velocity, is the fact he has a circle change and a curveball. So that means that both off-speed pitches have vertical off-speed movement. Now, obviously, the cutter can serve as that horizontal movement, but unfortunately, it's coming in relatively at the same speed as a sinker. But as long as you know how to tunnel pitches well and mix them up in general, I think you should be a-okay with Greg Maddux until you start getting to the higher difficulties and facing much better players, because his velocity is just not going to be enough to blow pitches past them at all times. Nolan Arenado, it's just the position of need thing. He plays third base. His clutch is a 74. Ironically, his contact numbers versus lefties are not too great. Obviously, a great defender at third base and lacks speed. His captain boost is not really one that I like too much, considering you need to have players that are extremely slow on your team in order to maximize the tier boost. And if you have extremely slow outfielders, then good luck, Charlie, because you're going to be giving up gap shots nonstop. Kodai Senga compared to Greg Maddux is not too far off as opposed to Nolan Arenado and Byron Buxton when looking at the two. He throws a four-seam, forkball, cutter, slider, slurve, so a great pitching arsenal. The real problem with me is the fact he has a 59 walk per 9, 84 control is nice, but the walk per 9 means that as you get into the higher difficulties, his PAR region is going to enlarge big time, giving you more error and giving up more home runs is most likely going to be the outcome of it. Hope you enjoyed today's content, and stay tuned because we are going to be doing the pitcher captains, hitter captains, and which of the XP boss choices you should take first whenever you reach that. All of that will be coming soon to you, so don't you fret. Have a blessed day and night. Stay positive, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will catch you all in the next one. Do me a solid, check out the description, check out the second YouTube channel, Twitch channel, social medias, and follow if you aren't following already. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.